Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every Tuesday night on Bright House Cable, 49 at 9:30 p.m. Our show is dedicated to social and economic values of the Hispanic community and to convey those values to the community at large, not only Hispanics. Tonight, we have a very interesting interview. We're interviewing two exotic dancers from the Central Florida area. These two young women make money dancing in clubs. And they each have children, and they're each single. They support their children with the dancing that they do. They do not receive any subsidies, any government support of any kind. How are you, Maria?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, Mr. Ramos?
Good, good. And you, Joanne?
I'm wonderful.
Probably, this is an interesting interview because I don't think it's ever been done, at least in Orlando. We've never had people that have your kind of job interviewed on television. And I think it gives an interesting insight as to who you are, what you do. It kind of puts a face and a human touch on the area that's normally thought of as being distant from the average person in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me a little bit about yourself, Maria.
I'm 27. I have children, and I take care of my kids through my means of my work.
Okay. And you, Joe?
I'm 22. I got one kid. And,
Okay.
I just
Boy,
dance
girl?
A boy.
A boy?
Yeah.
And you support your child through exotic dancing?
Yeah.
Why do you do exotic dancing, the both of you? Why? How did you get there? Meaning, what was that decision-making process that brought you to do that?
I actually had a family member that danced there first.
Okay, and she brought you into it?
She told me that I should go there. That's good money. It's easy, and it's flexible. Like, I could take care of my son, and I could take off if I want to. If he gets sick, I could leave. So it's like I don't have to be at a job and then get fired because my son gets sick.
Okay, and you have one boy.
Yes.
How old is your boy?
18 months old.
18 months. Okay, where's the dad?
He's in New York City.
Okay, are you still with the dad or he's gone?
No, we're separated right now.
Okay, are you married or not married?
Yes, married.
You're married, but he's not with you.
No.
Is he coming back?
He wants to.
Okay, and what's your, well, you're making it sound like he wants to, but you don't.
No, I don't.
Okay, and why is that?
He doesn't exactly agree with where I work at, and it causes a lot of problems between us. And if he can't accept that, then...
Well, are you saying you chose the dancing over him?
Well, I was doing that when he met me, so why should it be a problem now?
Well, maybe he wants you to quit. Can he keep you and your child financially?
He cannot pay my bills, take care of my son, and pay his bills at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm not moving all the way to New York City. I'm not doing it.
Okay, what about you, Maria? Tell me...
I have 6 kids. I have 5 girls and 1 boy.
Wait a second. Let's back up a little bit. How old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
And you have 6 kids. When did you start?
I was 15 when I had my first child.
You were 15 years old.
Yes.
How did you manage that?
The father...
Were you in high school at the time?
I was in high school.
Okay.
And I had to
Didn't
stop
they
going.
tell you not to do that in high school?
They did.
Okay.
But, you fall in love, unfortunately, at a young age, and your brain doesn't always do all the thinking.
Okay.
But things happen. I'm happy that I love all my kids. I've always wanted a big family, and 6 kids is what I got.
Okay. Now, they all from the same dad?
2 different fathers.
2 different fathers. And how many do you have from the first father that
3.
you were 15?
3.
Okay. And the second one?
3.
Okay.
Yes.
And what happened in relationship to the first dad? Where he came in when you were 15, and then what happened?
We had a really good relationship up until it started getting to, it was physical abuse and jealousy.
And how did that start, the physical abuse part? Do you think it was there in him to begin with, or did it just evolve somehow?
I guess it evolved after the pregnancy, because I guess he noticed I was getting a little more attention than I was before I got pregnant. But I tried to show him that I was all for him, and I guess he didn't understand that.
Okay. Now you have a more complicated story than she does, okay? So we want to know a little bit more about you. All right, so now you went through your first 3 kids. How old were you at the 3rd child?
22.
22. And then he left. He left on his own, or did you ask him to leave? Or you left?
I left.
Okay.
I left.
And where did you go?
Actually, I stayed at my house.
Okay.
I left for a couple days, and then when I came back, he was gone.
Okay.
Kind of what I wanted.
Okay. And then what happened? Where did the other 3 kids come from?
Me. No.
I know that.
The other three kids, Alexia, she was born in '06, and everything was going really good between us. And then he chose a different lifestyle.
You're talking about the second guy?
Yes, the second.
Okay,
one.
so how did that relationship start?
You
met him, you fell in love again?
Yeah, pretty much. We had known each other since we were kids, and I was his apparent dream girl since he was 12 years old. And then when we finally got together, the light switch turned on. I wasn't in the dark anymore. He completely changed. He was more interested in what his friends were doing on a daily basis than what his family was doing, and that's not what I want.
Did he accept the other 3 children?
He did.
Okay.
He did. He was there for all the older 3 kids every single day.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a little break from them so I can talk a little bit about the license plate. This story is just beginning, okay, just to let you know that. This is the Hispanic Achiever license plate. It can be found in all the tag offices in the state of Florida. It celebrates the 500-year anniversary of Hispanics settling Florida, and that was in 1513. It says it right here on the plate, 1513. And next year, we will start the 500-year celebration. All the proceeds from this plate go to scholarships for students and to nonprofit organizations throughout the state to help them provide services for Hispanics throughout the state of Florida. So, Orgullo Ser Hispano, get your license plate and help support your own community, and have this license plate on your car with pride. We'll get back to now Maria. Maria, now you've married, no, you didn't, are you married?
Never married.
You never married either one of them?
No.
Okay. Is that something which is culturally accepted and within the group that you maneuver in, or?
No, it's really by my own choice. After, the first relationship, after a couple months, I knew we already had a kid together, but I knew he wasn't gonna be the one I was gonna marry.
Okay.
But the way I feel is when I get married, there's not going to be a divorce. So I haven't, reached that point yet.
But you have 6 kids later, and you're talking about your first divorce.
Yeah, that's no divorce after you get married. That's probably why I haven't gotten married yet. And I'm really happy the way I am right now. Just
Okay,
me
now
and my kids.
how do you support 6 kids? Do you get any government subsidy?
No, I don't.
Do you get any government subsidy?
No.
You don't accept money from the government?
No.
Okay, have you ever?
Before, when I was pregnant, because I wasn't working, my ex-husband wasn't working, so.
And did you ever accept any money from the government?
I did in the past, but when the relationships fall apart, then you got to go through a couple of things, legal issues. So I just chose not to even bother with it.
Okay, so how do you support? So you're supporting 6 kids on your own.
Correct.
How do you do that?
Through exotic dancing.
Okay, tell me a little bit about exotic dancing. Do you dress? Do you dance nude? Do you dress? What is it?
No, it's not nude dancing. We dance in mini dresses and bikinis.
Okay.
It's never nude. And
how do you make money from that?
Having conversations with, the average Joe that walks in there.
Okay.
Good conversation is all it takes.
Okay.
And obviously good dancing on
And
stage.
what do they do? They tip you, or
Yes.
How does that work?
We get tips in the garters, and that's pretty much it. A pretty face will take you a long way.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to the kid thing. Okay, so now you have 6 kids, 3 from one dad, 3 from another dad. Okay. Do you have any relationship with the dad 1 or the dad 2?
Actually, I keep it very civil between the 3 of us. I keep it very civil. I don't like any arguing or fighting, especially when my kids are around, even when they're not around. So they know each other. They are very cordial.
These 2 guys know each other?
Yes.
Are they friends?
Kind of, sort of.
And what does that mean, kind of, sort of? Did they meet with you?
Yeah.
Oh, they met because of you?
Yes.
Okay.
And the father of my younger 3 girls cuts the father of my older 3 kids' hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do they contribute at all financially, or because before you said you support the 6 kids, you're totally independent, right?
Totally independent.
Okay, so you have 2 fathers for each of 3 kids, right?
Correct.
Do they visit?
They do visit.
And how frequently do they visit?
Actually, it's whenever they want to. It's usually on a daily basis.
So they come by the house on each one together or separate?
No, not together, separate.
And they visit you unannounced or announced?
Sometimes unannounced, sometimes announced.
Okay. And what I don't get is that you are supplying the money for these 6 kids, yet you allow the fathers to benefit from seeing their kids, but they don't provide weekly support, or they don't provide financial support? What is the deal there?
They provide financial support in their own way. I don't ask them for money for the kids at all. If the kids want anything and they're able to get it, then they get it.
Okay.
The way I feel is that if I'm not going to make a man take care of his child, if he doesn't want to do that, then he's just a deadbeat father all on his own.
But then you're allowing him to come into your house.
I was raised without a father, and my father was paying child support.
Okay.
And it's not a good thing to be raised without a father, but if their father's in the same town, in the same neighborhood, I'm not going to keep your kid away from you.
Mm-hmm. You think that would create problems?
Yeah, I think it would.
Okay.
I think it would.
All right. And let me ask you a key question. What are the ages of your children?
My oldest is 12, my son is 10, I have a 7-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old daughter, and my twin girls are 3.
Okay. And you're completely okay with this lifestyle? You think it's normal?
No.
I mean, really, you found yourself into kind of a niche situation. You're taking care of 6 kids on your own. You allow a father and a father who no longer lives there, who doesn't provide direct support or occasional support, and another father to visit you on call. They just come over if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a normal situation? Do you think that's a normal situation?
I do.
Okay.
Other people may not think so, but I think it's pretty normal.
You think that's normal?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me ask you a real question. This is a good one. You have established a behavior pattern which you're exposing your children to. Is that what you want to teach your daughter?
No, my kids.
But that's what she sees. She sees the dad coming, the dad going. She knows that there's 2 men involved. She knows there's 6 kids involved. Isn't that what children are very perceptive, you know that,
they
right?
Are.
They're very intelligent, they're sponges, they absorb everything. So do you think that your daughter or your son is going into a pattern of life that you have created that they're going to follow and say, hey, that's okay, that's how I grew up, it's okay?
No, not really. My oldest daughter, she's 12, so she's old enough to understand what is going on around her. So she knows that it's not okay, but then she also knows that I'm not going to keep her away from her father.
Okay. And have you told her that lifestyle is not okay? Have you communicated that to her in any way, shape, or form?
I do. I talk to her on a daily basis. We have conversations all the time with all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I explain to them that you have to be happy in order to be with somebody. If you're not happy, then you don't want to be miserable. You don't want to be the rest of your life miserable. Just you don't have to make yourself to be with somebody just to be with them. You have to be happy.
Okay. And Joanne, your other half, or you're not married to him anymore, right?
We're still married. We're separated at the time.
Okay. Do you expect him to come back? What happens if he wants to come back?
He does.
And how do you feel about his visitation with your child?
He could visit his kid anytime he wants.
Okay.
I mean, he gives me money from time to time whenever I ask him for it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a really bad attitude problem, and until he fixes it, it's never.
Do you think you're going to go back with him?
No.
You're never going to go back with him?
He can't change.
Okay.
We tried.
And what about you? Do you
No.
think you're going to go back with any of these 2 guys?
No.
No?
I mean, I love them because they're the fathers of my kids, but I just don't go backwards.
Okay. Okay. Let's get back to your dancing a little bit, okay? How often do you dance? What are the hours?
The hours is you pretty much make your own schedule. You go in when you want, but there's a certain hour you have to leave at 3. You can't leave any earlier than that.
Then 3 o'clock in the morning?
In the morning.
Okay.
Yes. The
Unless you work
schedules.
day shifts.
Yeah. The schedules are pretty flexible.
Mm-hmm. And how much do you make on a night? On a good night?
On a good night, about $400, $500.
A night?
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Less, we don't work very hard. So,
And on a
yeah.
good week, how much do you make? In a good week and in a bad week, how much do you make?
On a good week, $1,500.
Yeah.
$1,500.
Give or
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. And a bad week?
500, 600, bad week.
And what is the proportion of good to bad? Is it mostly good, or is it mostly bad, or is it like balanced out?
It's mostly good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty much balanced out throughout the
Okay.
year.
Now, what kind of guys come in there?
Average typical Joes, married men, divorced men, teachers, students, all kinds.
Okay. And what about the married men? What in your opinion, you have, a bar, that's an exotic bar.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a married guy is not going home and telling his wife he just came back from an exotic bar, right?
Some of them do.
Some of them
Yeah?
do.
Some of them.
Okay, and how do you know that? Because the wife comes?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
We have people that are okay with it, like their wives are fine with it. They don't care as long as they're not cheating on them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay. And why does a guy come in who doesn't tell? I mean, you said that a little while ago, you said that they like to talk.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, they come
Talk a
in
lot.
looking for the conversation that they just can't have with their wives. Sometimes when a married couple is married for so many years, they try to have a regular conversation and it ends up in an argument over something so simple. So they come in, have their conversations, and it's like
But
they
that
can
doesn't
let
solve the
themselves
problem.
go. No, but they can let themselves go with the person that is, giving them the attention that they want and they need, that their wife isn't giving them.
So basically, you're a psychologist. You just, or an ear. You're just listening
Yeah,
to the guy.
yeah, pretty much.
And he's crying on your shoulder. Is that what it is?
They come in and they relieve stress. I mean,
Okay.
they go home a little bit more happy than they were before.
All right. Okay. What do you want your daughter to become when she grows up? She's 12?
She's 12 years old, and she has it sketched in stone in her head that she's going to be going to Harvard University to be a lawyer.
To be a lawyer. Well, Harvard's hard to get
Yes.
into. Be very happy if she just goes to Barry over here in
Actually,
in
she's
Orlando.
pretty smart. She's pretty smart. She was in 4th grade last year. She got bumped up to 6th grade this year. She's really smart, so
Okay.
I have faith in her.
And what about the rest of what about the boy?
My son, I guess he takes after his father. He's having a little trouble in school because he gets distracted really easy. But he'll get along. And my 7-year-old, she's been getting straight A's since she's been in school. So,
Okay.
and yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your life when you were a kid.
Well, when I was a kid, I got everything I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom worked. Except the father every day.
Okay.
My mom and my dad used to argue a lot, and they split up when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And my mom kept us away from that family, from my dad's side of the family, for years and years.
Okay.
And but I got everything I wanted. My mom worked night shift all the time. So my grandparents were the ones that raised us, me and my sister.
And what about you?
I grew up with mostly my father in a very bad neighborhood, and I was a wild child. I really didn't listen too good.
Yeah.
So I pretty much raised myself and
Okay.
learned the hard way every time.
Well, it sounds like you both learned the hard way.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of.
Kind of. No, not kind of. I mean, really. Do you consider your lifestyles to be normal? Or do you consider your lifestyles to be acceptable by most people?
To be honest with you, if nobody wants to accept my lifestyle, that's their business. I pay my own bills, I pay my way for my children, and that's just the way I see it. It's not normal, because I had regular jobs before, but the economy is just so bad. When you have to pay bills, you have to pay bills. When you have to take care of kids, you have to take care of your kids. Nobody else is going to do it but you.
That's what you feel?
I think my life is a little bit crazy.
And why?
Because I work night shift and I only get like 4 hours of sleep when I sleep because I spend all day with my son. So my life is a little bit hectic.
Would you change it if you had to do it all over again?
Probably not.
You probably not. What about you?
Probably not.
I think
Right.
I would.
Yeah, in what way?
I love my kids. I probably would have waited a couple more years. But as far as anything else, I'm pretty okay with it.
How, when you're 15 years old and having a kid, what kind of support did you get? You got pregnant, right? You're 15. Did you drop out of school? Did you go back to school? What was the deal?
I dropped out of school and I moved in with the father of my daughter, and he was working at the time. And a couple months after I had her, I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I started a part-time just to get out of the house because it was really boring me. And I eventually went back to school. Actually, I graduated in 2009 for massage therapy. So I do have a degree behind me. I just choose not to use it because there's so many massage therapists that are certified that it's hard to find a job in that field.
Okay. Do you guys think, you're going to stay with this dancing thing a long time, or?
No.
Well, then what are you going to bounce off into? I mean, if you're not, look, right now, you could be knocking down between 50 grand a year, right? 50, 60 grand a year?
Maybe something like that.
Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to go to McDonald's? I mean, you
no.
don't have a degree, right?
I'll be going to school before I will not go to McDonald's. I
Okay.
cannot do that.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to go to culinary school and be a chef.
Okay,
Hopefully a famous chef.
okay. We'll
At
see
a
about
nice,
that.
nice restaurant.
Okay, and what about you?
I have a couple of little things that I'm doing on the side, try to get a modeling career started.
Okay.
And I'm working with the producer, Kato D's Only One, and he's pulling out a calendar. He's getting a calendar done by the end of this year, and hopefully, you know, it picks up from there.
Okay. And what do you want for your kids going forward? Do your kids know you dance? I mean, the older ones.
Yeah, my oldest daughter knows
She knows
I
you
dance.
dance? Does she know you dance exotically, or does she?
She knows I dance in a bikini, which is the honest truth. I dance in a bikini. I don't take anything off besides that.
Okay. Let's get back to the issue of child and imagery that you create for children. Okay. You mentioned that you want your daughter to go to Harvard. You want her to become a lawyer. Okay. Is the lifestyle that you've picked and the acceptability of having two men coming to your house sporadically, but not being there as a father, because you said yourself that you wanted to have your father at home. All right. Well, they're not really at home either. They stop by and leave.
Right.
Okay. Don't you think that's going to have an effect on them, or some kind of
I think it would have more of an effect if their fathers were not around at all. At all.
Okay.
I didn't see my father for 7 years because of my mom. She would not let us see him because of their issues. So I feel like I can't do that to my kids.
Okay.
My kids, I mean, they love their dad. They know exactly, you know, they pretty much have a feeling of what was going on, why we're not together. So if they could see him at least a couple hours a day, then I'm okay with it. I mean, it's not going to bother me.
And what kind of financial support do they provide? Let's realistic. What do they really provide?
Well, when it comes to school supplies and school clothes and stuff like that, we go shopping together, or I go and then they go, or vice versa.
Are you still having a physical relationship with them? Or?
No.
When you have, they're paying like what, for school supplies? I mean, what is that? I mean, I really don't know, and I'm trying to reach out to get what kind of support they're really giving you. Are they giving you?
They're not giving me per se.
I know, the kids. Okay,
yeah,
the kids. What kind of money are they giving you a month, and what kind of money are you getting a month?
I don't get too much, only because he's mad that I'm not with him and living in New York City.
So he doesn't give you money because he's mad at you?
He gives me like every 2-3 weeks, sometimes every month, like $50, $60. Sometimes it'll be like $100. It depends on his mood, how good he feels.
Really? And what about you?
Actually, I don't receive any sort of cash from neither one of them.
Okay, so they buy direct?
Yeah.
And what kind of buy direct? What is that equivalent to?
Wow, I give or take about $500, $600 a piece.
A month?
Yeah, from each one.
Okay. All right. Well, this is Danny Ramos on Hispanic Speak Out TV. We're going to take a little break to tell you about our license plate, in case you just tuned in. This is the Hispanic Achiever license plate. It can be found at all tag offices. And it's a Hispanic plate celebrating the 500-year anniversary of Hispanics settling in the state of Florida, which was 250 years before George Washington was born. The plate proceeds, all the plate proceeds go to Hispanic students for scholarships, okay, and also to nonprofit organizations to help them provide services for the community. The money is distributed based upon population throughout the state of Florida. I'm here with two people, seem to be very, very nice young women, who are exotic dancers, and they've been telling me about their lifestyle. Joanne has a boy that's a month and a half old. Her husband is in New York, and they have very little contact. And Maria is from, she has 6 kids. She started when she was 15 years old. She had 3 kids with 1 man, and then she fell in love again after the first husband was abusing her. And she left him and then fell in love with someone else and had 3 kids with him. And now it turns out that both men became friends, and they visit her on a regular basis, but they don't provide direct child support. They buy items for the kids that the kids need, but they don't actually contribute the cash directly to you. Okay. So they're deciding what the kids get and how the money's spent. You're not deciding.
Actually, yeah, no, it was my choice.
So you tell them?
Yeah, I tell them.
Okay.
Yeah, I choose not to get money direct from them because I'm not going to make them take care of their kids. You cannot force anybody to do anything. If they don't want to care for their kids, then that's their choice. You know, I'm going to heaven after this. If they don't want to go
Well,
there
you
with
know,
me, then they're not
but
going to
look
be
at it
there.
this way: you're doing exotic dancing instead of them supporting their own children. You're the one who's picking up the tab for their good time, and they left you. So you know the reality is that those guys are going out with other women and and doing their routine while you're staying home taking care of 6 kids. Don't you find that unacceptable at all, or
Kind of,
or are
in a
you
way.
kind of like justifying it because that's the circumstance that you're in, so you're making the best of something?
I'm making the best of it, but I made the decision to have the kids, so I'm going to do my part, whether they do theirs or not.
Okay,
Because if I don't care for my kids, nobody's going to.
all right, and that's the way you feel. So how long do you think you'll be dancing?
Probably another 6
Till
months.
you're 60 years old or what?
I hope not. I don't think that'd be very attractive.
No. What about you? Do you have a predetermined program when you want to get out of this, or are you just going to roll with it until it extinguishes itself?
No, I don't want to stay as a dancer for too long. I mean, I've given myself 2 and 3 month breaks within, the year and a half that I've been working. Hopefully when the economy picks up, there's no need for dancing.
Well, the economy picks up or not, you still have to have an education to do what you got to do.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So if you don't have the right education, you're gonna have a bad economy even if everybody in the world becomes a millionaire. You have to be able to have yourself have a service that you can provide that people are gonna buy besides dancing. Okay, and obviously, you'll always have married guys that want to listen, sit down with you and talk to you. That's understood. But what about you? Where do you want to go with your life? Besides, the modeling thing is going to go out too. You get to be over 30, it's over. Unless you want to do, senior citizen stuff. So what are you planning for yourself? Are you planning to go back to school? Have you thought about that?
I have thought
You're
about
young enough to go back to school, the both of you.
I have thought about going back to school, and I really would like to go back to school for social worker, to be a social worker.
Okay. And what about you?
I'm going to go to culinary school.
You said that you were going to go to culinary school.
That's exactly what
Okay, where, in Orlando?
I want to go to Cordon Bleu.
Okay, I have some information for you on that, okay?
Okay, good.
Because my son went to culinary school. Okay, he's in Chicago right now.
I love to cook.
Yeah, do you?
So,
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, I wish you guys all the luck in the world. I know you would have changed things because I know you've been through some stressful times. And that, people young at 15 or 16 or 17 should not have to go through. And you're right, it's a matter of making choices. And that's the most important thing you said, it's making choices. Now you're old enough, of course, to make choices. And,
Right.
I hope things work out for you.
Thank you.
This is Danny Ramos on Hispanic Speak Out TV, Bright House Cable, every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. We'll see you next week, same time, same station. And don't forget the Hispanic license plate. Again, let me tell you about this. And you will also see these displays in all your tag offices. If you want to go to www.hispanicachievers.org, you can join a raffle. Just fill it in online and get a chance to win a license plate. We raffle off a license plate every month. So don't forget www. And it will be right here on the screen, right below me, hispanicachievers.org. Thanks, ladies. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Good luck.
Thank
Okay?
you.
We'll see you next week. Danny Ramos.